I was on my way home and a strange thing happened. I looked at a kid and he was smiling at me. I smiled back. We were in a bus. He was sitting on his father's lap and I was sitting right opposite to him. I made a funny face and he copied that face. Either that or my face is really funny. I continued to make similar funny faces and he copied each and every one of them, laughing all the time. That's when I realized that I didn't even know this kid and he was making me smile. He's a complete random stranger to me and yet I feel connected to him somehow. A very good evening to all the Toastmasters and the guests present today.
Good evening.
Good evening. I am here to talk to you about that random stranger. Yes, I am probably talking about that guy that you see when you are crossing the road. That guy who's looking at you. But it's not a stare or an uncomfortable look. It's just a simple look from deep, intense eyes and you cannot control yourself but you blush. I'm talking about that girl that you see in the metro who seems or pretends that she's not looking at you at all when all she was doing throughout was stare at you. And then as you keep looking at her, she looks back, your eyes meet and her cheeks turn pink. Friends, from a very young age, we've been taught to not talk to strangers. And that's okay when we are a kid. As a kid, we do not know or we cannot differentiate between somebody who's evil and somebody who's not. But as we grow up, we carry this fear in our heart. And we still cannot talk to strangers or go up to them and introduce ourselves. Have we ever asked ourselves that the vast majority of people outside or here are not sociopaths? They will probably never harm us. It's just that one thought that is there in our head. Therefore, today I have jotted down 4 major points as to why each and every one of us should be talking to strangers. Point number 1. Because they are friendly. Our general assumption should be that a person is friendly. And take it to yourselves. If someone approaches you and talks to you, you'll probably be receptive or positive towards them. That brings me to my point number 2. It can spice up that moment. Meeting random strangers can be really fun and you can take my vote on that. Sometimes you come across people who are really weird and creepy and strange and that is the spice. Because you are not committed to ever talking to them again. That connects me to my 3rd point. It can make a really good story. Even if I am never obligated to talking to someone and I am interacting with them, remember, it will always be a good story to tell. Whenever you are sharing your experiences at any place, it's always nice to share something that you've been through. And what better than talking to random strangers and telling about that in a humorous manner. Point number 4, which is the most important point. You never know who you might actually meet. The person standing in the queue next to you could turn out to be your best friend after years, or your wife, or your husband, or your girlfriend, or your boyfriend. You really have no idea. But even if it doesn't go that extreme, that one person you're sharing the cab with can have the job that you're looking for. Or maybe you might be the right candidate that he has been looking for. I know of a few people here who meet people and then weeks later go out on a trip with them. Meeting random strangers has its own perks. And despite all these 4 points that I have mentioned, some of us still fear talking to random strangers. Reason? It might get really embarrassing and awkward. Which it just might, honestly. But the important part to know is that don't take it personally. It's not your fault. Sometimes people are in a rush or they are simply in a bad mood or they've been yelled at by their better halves or worse, not spoken to by their better halves. In all these situations, people are usually not in the right frame of mind to talk to you. And that's when you feel that you've probably done some kind of a mistake. You've made it awkward for them, you're not good at approaching them, you're not good at talking to them, and all these thoughts keep going in your head. Like I said, 1, you're never obligated to talking to them again. 2, do not take everything personally. Sometimes it's beyond, over and above your control. I don't know about most of you, but I feel that talking to random strangers is not the only way that I can connect to them. Picture yourself in a situation like this. You're in a bus and it's a semi-crowded bus. And as you're standing, or sitting for that matter, let's just say you're sitting in a semi-crowded bus and an old lady gets up. That old lady gets up into this bus and obviously finds no place to sit. She's looking around, trying to see if there's any place at all. She's embarrassed to ask for help. And that's when you just get up and offer her your seat. She sits down and looks at you with eyes full of gratitude. And that's when you feel, wow, that's one good thing I've done today. Life is full of such random strangers. That stranger who tells you the right way when you actually lost your way. That stranger that you meet at a meeting and you cannot break your eye contact, but before you could actually do something about it, you have to part your ways. In life, we meet different people. The important part to remember is that one random stranger can make us feel a rush of emotions at once. I may feel happiness, I may feel infatuation, I may feel warmth, I may feel gratitude. And all these emotions can be felt with just that one person. So we all have family and we all have friends. But the emotion that I am talking about today can be felt with just that one